Let's dive in and talk about how to create a listing presentation in Command. Hey guys, Brittany with Brittany Hannon Real Estate. I'm a real estate agent, coach, and investor, and every week we do a weekly workshop where we talk about a different topic in real estate to help you move your business forward. It's every Monday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Consider this your invitation. This week we talked about listing presentations, and in this video we're going to actually dive into how to create it using Keller Williams CRM called Command. Now, if you're not a Keller Williams agent, that's okay, because this will show you the basics of what you want to have in your listing presentation. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. So now we're jumping into Command. So I hope you guys are ready. Hopefully you have Command up on your screen and you're able to do this with me. What you want to do, and what I personally do, I always am looking for the easiest way. I'm not looking to reinvent the wheel every time. So I'm going to create this as a static document, as something that doesn't really change very often. Maybe I'll go in and change some of the numbers or change some of the information, or there's a testimonials page. If I get a really good one, I might go in and put a new one in, but I'm absolutely not changing this for every single listing I go on. It's the same listing presentation. And then I am going to go in and in the conversation, I'm going to change it up as needed. What I am going to bring and what I'm going to change every single time is that CMA, that comparative market analysis, your comps. That's what I'm going to change up. That's what I'm going to make specific to each property. But this listing presentation is going to be the same. So if you follow along with me and do this, you're going to have the skeleton at the end of this workshop. This is what we want, is I want you to have this ready to go. We are just going to jump in, and where are we going today? We're going to designs. So if we click on designs, now if you're new to designs, you're going to see that I have a bunch of designs in here and you might not have any. That's okay. As you create designs, you're going to have more in your design library and you're going to be able to go and do this. So you can see I have a listing consultation here that I edited on December 20th. And so if I wanted to go in and edit it again, make some changes, I could just click on this and go into it. What I'm going to do today, though, with you is go to create design up in the top right, and it's going to be a print. So even if you're not printing it, even if you're just using a PDF, which is what I use, I don't print this out. I use it as a PDF. I go through it on my computer or tablet. I send it to them again as after we meet in an email so that they have access to it. But I don't print this out. Now that's going to be different. That's totally whatever you prefer for your business. I know agents who print it out, have a hard copy that they laminate and they take and review. I know agents who take it and leave it with the seller, but it's whatever you want to do. This is totally preference for your business. But regardless, we're going to start with print because that's where it's going to come from. So I'm going to say continue. And then I've told you this before, but the first thing you want to do if you haven't gone into designs is go to this assets. And this is where you're going to be able to plop in your own specific information. So your images, your logos, the Keller Williams logos. If you don't have Keller Williams logos, go to your market center. They'll be able to give you access to these. And then I put them in here so that I always have them. Once you do this, then when you go to your templates and start creating things, it's going to make it a lot easier. Walt, I'm seeing your question. Can you import a listing presentation? Yes, you can. If you go to uploads, if we go to my designs, you can fully edit any PDF. So if you click on that, it's just going to tell you to upload from whatever you have. And you'll be able to go in and edit any of these that you find. So yes, you can upload your own. And I like to do that if I want to keep it in this same space. If I'm looking at like a just listed postcard, where I like the design of a just listed postcard from somewhere else, like Canva or something like that. But I want to be able to move it in here because the KWLS, which I'll show you in a little bit, will give you access to all the listing photos and all the listing information and all that. So it makes it a little bit easier when it's in designs. Okay, so we're doing listings. So we're going to come here and you can see this drop down listings, and it has here listing presentation. So I'm going to click on that. These listing presentations are basically all the same. The idea behind these is you're picking the one that fits you and your personality. And so whatever one you like, whatever one you think speaks to you the most, choose it, and then you can edit it as you go. So let's choose this black one. I don't think I've ever used this one yet. All right, first and foremost, let's change the title. So up here, I'm just going to double click on it and change it to sample listing presentation. Okay, and then press enter, and there you go. Okay, so you can see down here that it says 29 pages. That's too many. We do not want 29 pages. And these are created for you to remove pages. So it's not created for you to just go in and download this whole thing and use it as a listing presentation. You can, but that's not necessarily how it's created, because there are going to be some redundant pages. They say different things, but in my mind, they have the same information. But I do not want to give a client 29 pages. That's too much. And so I want to pare it down to only the pages that matter for my clients, or what I think matter for my clients. So you can see right off the bat, there's this title page. This second page is instructions for this document. So once you read this, you can delete this page. And to delete, I'm just going to hover over these three dots and then say delete. Yes. And if there's ever a time when you're like, oh no, I didn't want to delete that, if you go up to templates here and go down to where our listing presentation is, we just have to find it. Here it is, listing presentation template. So this is the one that we're using. And here are all the pages on here. So you can go in and you can just say new page and then add it in, and it's going to add it at the bottom. But you can always move it around to wherever you want it to be by just clicking and dragging. So we are, so let me show you this. First off, I moved some stuff around. So let's get back to how it was. So there are usually two different title pages. There's this one, and then there's this second one. I like this one better. So I'm going to delete this first page. So you can see already we're down to 27 pages. And one of the things that I want to show you that's going to make your life so much easier is when we click on an image, I'm going to go back to images. We do have stock photos that are licensed to Keller Williams. These that are called stock, these are actually for sale. So I think they're for sale. Some of them are for purchase. Some of them, yeah, it says buy, free, all of that. I don't even mess with these. I go to Workspace because all of these are licensed to Keller Williams. So if I want to say lifestyle at home, you can see that there are a bunch of different photos. So I'm already clicked on this one. And so you can see that there is a replace image button, this little swap button. So you can swap it out for whatever you want. Now, if I'm not clicked on anything, that swap goes away. So you have to make sure that you're clicked on the photo, because what it does is it pops it in with the same format. So if it's a longer, thinner photo or space for it, it'll just format it to that exact space. So let's see. Whoops, I double clicked. Okay, so let me say done. I'm going to leave it as is. Then this picture, this is all going to be your information. So remember, I'm on images and I already have my assets. So I'm going to go in, I've clicked on it. So I have the little swap and I'm going to swap it out. And remember, it formats in the same way. I also have my logos in here. So when I clicked on that, it automatically took me to logos. So if I go to my assets, again, I'm going to go to Keller Williams, swap it. Oh, I need a white one, swap it, there it goes. So it's pretty easy to do all of that. And then when you go in, if I want to click on that, this is a little hard to read. This is a little small. You can make it bigger by zooming in. But what I want to do is I want to just click on this typewriter button. And then that's going to let me put my information in. Brittany, and then last name Hannon, typewriter. Oops, can't spell my own last name. I've had that problem a bunch of times today. Okay, so then you're gonna fill out all of your information. I'll let you do that. Now, here's what I would do. This says a custom consultation exclusively prepared for Maria and Chris Roberts. But I told you that I don't want to reinvent the wheel every time. I want to give them a static listing presentation. So I might change this to, say listing consultation, listing presentation, whatever you want to say. But I'm just going to change that because I don't want to have that in there. And then I would change the language on here. Maybe I'd say a custom consultation exclusively prepared and leave it at that. Whatever you want to do, however you want to change it, you could take this out entirely. Like if I just took this out and then moved this up here, pulled this, you can see you can play with it, you can edit it, you can do a lot of different things with this. Now that we have this first page, we're going to move on. So this is basically what I wanted to show you of how to edit things. Now we're going to go through and see what these pages actually are. Okay, so this is a listing consultation page. Okay, the next page is going to be a table of contents. Because mine is not going to be 29 pages, I'm not going to need a table of contents. So I'm just going to delete this page. Yes, delete it. All right, so this again is where they're showing information about this person's property. So if you were doing something where you were taking this, if you were changing this every single time for your clients, then this might be a page that you wanted to leave. It's information about their property, how much it last sold. This is kind of just making sure that you have the same information, that you guys are all on the same page. But because like I said, I'm not trying to, I like to have a static presentation. So I am just going to delete this whole page because I don't want anything that's specific to them here. Okay. So again, I'm going to delete this, but I want to show you this. This is called a snapshot. And we have talked about this before in some of our other workshops, but I want to show you again. So this is where this KWLS comes in. So on this KWLS, it's basically the listings from the MLS. And so you can search for a listing either by a listing address, MLS number, or a bunch of different things. I find the most luck by doing it by the MLS number, just because every so often it gets weird and it can't find the address or whatever. So the MLS number, I've never had an issue with. However, right now today, we're not looking for the listing. I'm looking for the snapshot. Oh, sorry, my nose is so itchy. Okay, so if you know the neighborhood that you're looking for, you can search by the neighborhood name. You can also search by the postal code, but that's not going to help you because it's going to want you to narrow it in. Well, let's try it and see what happens. 93036. Let's try that. I mean, it's saying this is basically all of, or it's a big section of Oxnard, but it's saying average sold price NA. Anytime it has NA, I don't want to use this, but this might be something that's going to be helpful for you. Now, what I want to show you is, I'm going to open a new tab and go to command again. So what we're looking for are the neighborhoods, and the neighborhoods are really specific. So I want to go in, and I have a neighborhood for Mickey Mouse. So let me go in and find Mickey. So if I know Mickey's address already, but I'm not quite sure what the address is or what the neighborhood is, I can go in here and say, add a neighborhood, find it on a map. And if I have the address, I can add it in here. Let's see, 123 Main Street, Pismo. Sure. And now I'm able to say, okay, it's just called Pismo Beach. So you can see this is Pismo Creek. This is Pacific Estates. This one is, I can't see it, Hacienda del Pismo. So these are all different neighborhoods, and these small little neighborhoods are what you want to put on here when we're looking at the snapshot. So I'm going to put on Pismo Beach because that's the one that it told me. Oh, no result. Okay, let's put, what was the other one? Hacienda. What was it? Hacienda del Pismo. All right, let's try that. Let's see, no result. What's happening here? Oh, I know why. It's because I'm still on the postal code. I need to switch it to the neighborhood name. Now let's try it. There we go. Okay, so if I click on this, these are really, really small areas. So that's why I would say, look, it has NA, 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 because it's such a teeny tiny little area. Let's look at all of Pismo Beach. And remember, all of Pismo Beach is not actually all of Pismo Beach. It's all of what this neighborhood is called Pismo Beach. So it may still be this tiny little area. So you can see it has an average list price of $925, total active, total pending, average days on market, yada, yada. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna replace that image. So now you can see it goes in here. And again, I'm not gonna use this, so I'm not gonna spend any more time on this. I just wanted to show you these snapshots, because when you're doing door knocking, or when you're doing, maybe you wanna send a postcard to a certain neighborhood or a farm of yours, these snapshots can be very helpful, as long as there is some turnover, because I never want to send to an area that says NA. And you can see that right here it says NA. And that basically is saying it doesn't have nothing has sold in that area in whatever time frame they're looking at to be able to have an average sales price. So all right, moving on. That was just a freebie for you. I'm deleting this because, again, I'm not trying to have it be specific to their neighborhood. I just want to say, here is a listing presentation for you. Comparable properties, nope. We're going to do a CMA later. So we're deleting that. All right, here's where we start talking about, here's where you can establish the expectations. And remember, that was what we said. That was one of the things when we were saying, actually, no, this is the motivations. So we're talking about digging deep into the motivations. So remember, I have already had a conversation with them. I've already done the pre-listing questionnaire. And so this is just going to be in addition. So I'm going to say, okay, we already talked about, you need your home to sell fast. You need to move because you're moving or because you got a new job, blah, blah, blah. I kind of like this question. What's the one thing that has to happen to make that dream a reality? So, like, we've already had this conversation. Now let's dig deeper. Is there anything else that's important to you that you haven't told me yet? Is there anything else that I need to know to make sure that this is a great situation for you? So you can edit this to be whatever you want, but I do like one page like this. You'll see in some of the other, like in the buyer's presentations, there are multiple pages that talk about your needs. I think you need one page and that's it, because we're trying to pare this down. And remember, this is a conversation starter, so you're not going over this entire thing. Okay, the process. Now, this is another one. This is managing expectations, telling them what they can expect. And so we want to tell them, here's the process. I'm going to get rid of this so we can see it. Just press those two little buttons. So one of the things that we want to just make sure is that everything is correct. And in this, everything is mostly correct. The only thing is that in our area, in California, we don't do attorney reviews. And so you want to change this. So I will say it's easier to just change this than to try and edit it and move all of these little boxes around and make sure it's all, like the same size and everything. So I would just say, instead of deleting this, I'm just going to change it. So it's saying review and present offers. So let's see, hold on. Start showing your house and hold the open house. Review and present offers. So maybe I'm going to switch this and say, start showing home. And maybe I'll say, start showing home. Let's just leave it. Start showing your house. So let me delete that. And then this one, I'm going to just copy and paste, copy, and I'm going to move it to where this one is. And this is just basic editing. I'm not doing anything fancy here. Paste. I'm just copying and pasting. I'm not doing anything else. And then this one, we want to change to be the open house. See what I did there? It was nothing fancy. I'm just trying to make it so that it's what we do in California. That's the only thing that I know of that is going to be any different. Everything else, facilitate inspection process, negotiate any issues, oversee appraisal, all of those things you are going to have some hand in, whether it's confirming that the appraisal has been scheduled and confirming that the appraisal came in at the appraised price, all of that kind of stuff. That's that's how you're going to oversee, quote unquote, the appraisal. Now, if they get a cash offer, there probably won't be an appraisal, and that's okay, because the idea about this is that this is like I said, this is a conversation starter. So you can tell them, hey, I know that we said I'm going to oversee the appraisal, and just so you know, there isn't going to be an appraisal with this transaction because it's cash. Yay, hooray for you. So you don't have to change it every time because you're saying, oh, well, it's a tear down, so it's for sure going to be an investor and it's only cash, so I need to go in here and I need to change my whole listing presentation. No, you don't have to change anything. Just keep it and say, in a traditional transaction, we would have an appraisal. We don't have to worry about that with yours. Great, let's move on. All right, so we still have 23 pages here, and we want to make sure that we are only having the ones that we need. So you can keep your app page in here. Again, this is kind of a plug and play. You really don't need to change much on this. Actually, you don't need to change much in any of this. You want to talk about their marketing plan because they always want to know about this, even though it doesn't matter. It's just funny. As long as you're doing photos, I always do professional photos. But some people don't. But again, that is your business, your choice, whatever you're going to do. So I'm going to tell them I'm doing professional photos. And again, here, let me fix that because that's bothering me. Again, this only needs to be one page because I can talk through, here's what I'm going to do for you. So I don't need it to be 100 pages. Finding your buyer, basically the idea is we're finding them on the internet. So we want to make sure that we have great photos for the internet. So again, best in class promotional assets. I only want one or the other of these, your marketing plan or best in class promotional assets. So I'm going to delete one of these, and just to make time go faster, that's the one I'm going to delete. Same thing here, your media plan. I actually do like this page. So in my presentation, this is what I have instead of this one, but you can do whatever you want. And again, for this media plan one, you want to make sure that you do all of these things. And if not, you want to edit it to what you actually do. Strategic promotion, unless I have a specific plan for that, I'm not going to talk about that because I'll be able to talk through them with it. Same thing for this open house strategy. So I'm not going to go through every single one of these pages. I want to tell you, this is what you do. Now, if you're in the PC coaching program, we do have a sample listing presentation in the PC toolkit. And so you have access to that, which is basically what I've gone in and I've said, these are the things that I would do and that I would put in a listing presentation. And because like this, I would delete this because this is something that I would maybe talk about in it, but it's not something that any seller really cares about. If they do care about it, we have the conversation, but I don't need to have a form in this that just makes this 18 pages long. I've told you this a million times. If you don't have these numbers for your own business, this is talking about years in the business, 15, if you don't have 15 years in the business, 10 years in the business, 20 years in the business, don't write that. Just use your market center. You can say 15 years in the area, whatever you want to say, or you can simply delete this page, just like we're deleting all these others. You want this to be short, sweet, concise. Same thing with this. Proof is in the numbers. If you don't have any numbers, let's delete it. If you do want to do something like this for those analytical minds, then use what your market center has. Credentials and awards. Use your market centers or delete it. Now, one thing that you do want to have, leading the industry, this is talking about Keller Williams. You can leave this in or not. I'm trying to condense and make this smaller, so I'm going to delete this. Portfolio of excellence. These are saying what you've sold. If you haven't sold anything, use the market centers. This, you'll notice, is the same page. It's just a different format. So you want to just choose your format and delete the one that you don't want. So if I just want to highlight a few, which usually that's me, I want fewer better. I'm going to remove all those and say, okay, let me highlight just 3. And if I don't have 3 that I've personally sold, use the market centers. Featured listings, same thing. Maybe I delete this one, the one up top, and just use this. Whatever you want to do, but I would only have one page of that. This is reviews. If you don't have any reviews yet, talk to your mom, talk to your sister, talk to people who have worked with you in the past and see if they'll give you reviews, and pull it from wherever and put it on, paste it here, because you want to have some reviews. And again, if you don't, delete this page until you do have reviews and then put it back on. And then this is going to be a promise, which is basically, again, that is setting that expectation. So you want to read through this and see, is this what you want to have as a promise or not? Selling safely. This is not necessarily accurate anymore because it's talking about socially distant tours. So you can see if you want to save that or not. I'm going to delete that one. Bottom line, this to me is the same as this page that's called a promise to you. So I'm going to delete one or the other of them. And then here's how to get in touch with me. I do like this page. I would leave it in. And obviously you just need to edit it to put your own information in. And again, when I click on that, it takes me straight to the Keller Williams logo page. Boom, in there, done. And then I want to put in the Keller Williams address. So you put in your address. I don't remember what it is. And then you put your information in here. So there are very few things. This really is like a plug and play. There are very few things that you need to do. When you're done with this, you just want to go to download right here, this download button, download it onto your computer. PDF standard is totally fine. If you want all pages or to select a few pages, you can do that. So I'm going to download it and then we're done. So it was that quick and easy. Now there are some things that you still need to go in there and do, but like I said, by the end of this, I wanted you to have a skeleton. This is your skeleton. So go through and make sure that you're editing it, make sure that you're changing it so that if you had a presentation today that you needed to do, boom, you have something ready to go. So this is, you can see when you pull this up, this is your PDF. And so I'm going to say, so what I do personally is I save this to Google Drive, and then I am going to have it as a link then, and they have a link to this PDF. And I go through this PDF with them, whether it's on my computer, like I said, on a tablet, however it is, I want to go through this information. And there are going to be a lot of people who say, I don't want to hear any of that. Let's get to the bottom line. If that's their personality, if they're the high D and want to just get to the bottom line, great, let's get to the bottom line. Let's talk about this. You don't need any of this, because remember, I have a system set up so that at the end of my listing presentation, or at the end of our meeting, at the end of our appointment, they're going to get an email that has all of this information in there. So they're going to be able to look through and they're going to be able to see this. And so a lot of these things, even if I left it in, this page I probably wouldn't have left in, by the way. But if I left it in, might say, finding your buyer, they're going to find it on the internet. You can go through and you can look at this when I send it to you later. And then I'm going to keep going. Same kind of thing with this marketing plan. There's a lot of words on this, so I'm not going to go through this. I'm going to tell them basically, bottom line, you're getting best in class marketing. You're getting the highest level of photography, professional photos done. I'm going to be doing, internet media, hard copy, postcards, direct mail, open house. I'm going to be doing this so that all the buyers see your property. So, I'm not going to go through every single one of these, but I'm going to let them know I'm doing everything so that everyone who's a buyer is going to see this. Now, the reality is that everybody who's a buyer is going to see it within the first 3 days, because everybody who's a buyer is actively looking. Just like, if you have a buyer that you're looking for, they're probably sending you listings. And you're like, oh, I didn't even see that one, because they have it at their fingertips. They are able to look at it at any given time. And they are looking at it all day, every day. They get notices, they get notifications. So if there is a buyer, they are going to see it within the first 3 days. Just keeping that out there. Now, there are some things in here that are not, or there are some things that I think are missing from this. One of those would be like a pricing discussion sheet. There's nothing that says, here's how we price your property. So that's going to be a conversation that I have with them, but it's also going to be more based on what the comps are. So it's going to be based on what their motivation is
and then based on what the comps are.
Well, I hope that helped. That was just a little sneak peek of our weekly workshops. Remember, you can join us live in our weekly workshops every Monday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, where you can ask any questions you have and be there in real time. Click the link below to register for the next workshop. And if you want to dig deeper and grow your real estate business, click the link below and let's schedule a call to talk about coaching. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you get more videos just like this as soon as they come out, and we'll see you in the next video.